First of all, let me say thank you to Insomniacs for having us on the stage, and we have a very rocking panel here. I want a round of applause for them. नहीं ऐसा नहीं, एकदम जोरदार applause चाहिए यार. Come on. Superb. So I was just going through the data, like, why this particular topic is important. So in 2025, real estate influencer marketing is expected to see a significant growth, and it is gonna touch $39.33 billion all across the, the entire world. And per internet user, there is a spend of $6.51 according to the data that I'm referring to. Now, CAGR wise 9% अगर growth भी हम लोग expect करें, तो this industry is gonna touch $60.52 billion by 2030. So a very interesting industry. I'm sure a lot of real estate developers have started investing into real estate, social media influencers to put out the message. We have two very big names from the developer community, and we have three rocking people who were very recently who had come on $1 Million Listing India. Let's give a round of applause to them. I love binge watching the entire episode. I have a lot of questions which I want to ask on stage and off stage. Let me start with Deepti. Deepti, there are a lot of real estate, again to give you a brief, I got to know even before $1 Million Listing, I saw one video shared by Milan Suman once about his good real estate journey, and that's how I discovered your page. There are a lot of female real estate influencers, and I feel in every business कुछ differentiator का ज़रूरत होता है. What difference is the Realtor girl, your handle? How is it different than anyone else?
Thanks, Chintan. This is a very interesting question because obviously, आज के time में the content is all about how you adding value and how it is different from the existing influencers, and there is no dearth of influencers. And so for me, when I started creating content, I realized there's a gap in the influencer marketing here, wherein everybody was focusing more on listing the properties and showcasing the properties that are there with them. And industry like real estate, it has been very unorganized for the longest time. High value hai, high trust hai, high ticket size hai, and people want information, they want to be educated. So my content was focused more on creating information, simplifying the complex procedure informed. And if you've seen, I've started talking about RERA, the good parts and the bad parts that are there. Because मुझे क्या लगता है ना कि everybody talks about the flashier sides, the visuals, but we need to speak about what is shortcoming, what are the shortcomings existing in the market. So these are the things that I feel, and being a female real estate consultant and an influencer, I feel we have the ability to generate naturally the trust in the clients. We have the emotional intelligence and also a refined sense of detail, which really helps us to connect better. Yeah.
Good answer. I think a lot of real estate influencers who are hearing, this was a masterclass for us.
Thank you so much.
Let me come to Ankush. Ankush, very recently I saw a post with Ryan Serent posting about you. It was a very interesting thing. Ankush, trust plays a very big role in any industry. और मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है real estate में trust is everything. And when you are, yeah.
I think it is one of the most important thing that is required in real estate. Trust, Vishwas. उससे ऊपर कुछ नहीं है.
Superb. So my question again, Ankush, Ankush to you would be building trust and also doing a real estate business. वो credibility build करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए according to you?
See, I think, building trust in our field specifically when we are as real estate consultants doesn't come on doing a transaction or successfully doing a transaction. It comes from emotions of somebody buying a property for the first time, or rarely buying the property for the second time as well, or for their investment. आप अपनी पूरी जिंदगी की कमाई अपनी प्रॉपर्टी में लगा रहे हैं. You are an advisor. So you need to actually do your research as a consultant, that what is the property, who is the developer, give them what they need as an answer, which is the most important thing. Because क्या है कि influencer is not just going to create a lead here. They are going to create a filter. which is going to be useful for the buyer, for the investor. अगर आपको लगता है कि डेवलपर की प्रॉपर्टी एक अच्छी लोकेशन में है, तो आप बोलिए अच्छी लोकेशन में है, और अगर प्राइस ऑफ है तो बताइए आप प्राइस ऑफ है उसका. अगर आपको ये लगता है कि ये डेवलपर का ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड डिलेड है, so flag it off. I think slowly and gradually you will create authenticity, transparency and start building trust for your end user जो आपका customer है.
True. Very, very well said. Ayushi, let me come to you. Ayushi, real estate influencer. Agar aap, like, you know, if you ask me one of the top real estate influencer right now, I would say it is Niranjan Hiranandani, my mentor, and he's 75 and running. So right now what I see a lot of real estate developers, they also have started becoming very vocal on, like, you know, they go on podcasts, they go on news channels. Does it actually help? या उसकी ज़रूरत है as a real estate developer to have a good social media game going on? Personal, I'm talking. The company, I understand it is important, but personal, do you think Ayushi उसकी ज़रूरत है?
I think 100% because real estate in general is a very promoter-driven industry. Most of the real estate brands that we see and know of, including our own, it has our last name attached to it, which means that before you get any other mega brand ambassador on board, you are your own brand ambassador in flesh. And that is very, very important to convey out to the audience especially. So when you are, you know, voicing your opinions on a public platform, when you are conveying to the audience all of the intricacies of real estate in a more simplified way, you are an expert on the industry, you are communicating all the foundational things, whether right from legal things to more, you know, technical things about buildings. I think that really draws some connect with the audience where they can start developing trust within you. And I definitely feel that it is a promoter-driven industry. People look at that last name and, you know, they know ki, acha, if it's this builder, it's 100% trust. If it's this builder, you know, I'm going to have the right location. If it's so I know that, you know, it's a very promoter-driven industry, and I think that's where the influencing comes in.
Super, very well said. Shalvi, let me come to you. I think this trend of engaging very high-profile people started with your company. I think they had Mr. Narendra Modi as a brand ambassador. I think we should give a round of applause. It was a very interesting thing. And I've seen you collaborating with the very big actors, very big people from everywhere. I'm sure social media influencers also will be in, like, you know, in the future. I want to know, as a company, how do you decide collaborating with a particular brand ambassador or a social media influencer as a developer side, as a savvy group? What would be your input in that?
Thank you so much for the well thought out question. But please don't call Modi sir an ambassador. Come on, ye zyada ho gaya thoda. We were very fortunate that when he was the chief minister, that for a diplomatic event, he came and played at our course, and he has been a frequent visitor of the course. So we are very thankful for that. At the same time, my brand has not particularly worked with influencers yet, in the traditional sense of the word. Yes, we have worked with celebrities. You know, we have worked with sports people. We have worked with some wonderful, proper, I want to say, people with an incredible reach. But for me, reach is nothing. Your engagement says everything about, if you are an influencer, your engagement says everything about you as a brand yourself. So for me, if you have a dedicated but small community of followers, जिसके साथ perfect engagement है, if your values align with my brand, I am ready to work with you. If you are, let's say, someone who usually markets to high-end segment, और मेरा अभी बॉम्बे में अगर affordable segment में project है, I don't want to work with you. Doesn't matter if you have 1 million followers, 5 lakh followers, जो भी है. So all those are simple metrics. KPI तो बहुत सारे हैं. There's lead conversion, you know, CTR and many other things, cost per lead, so many other things. But for me, if you are an advocate, So as an influencer, if you're going one step above in your dedication to my brand, that you are not just influencing people, but you are actively being an advocate for us. For me, that is the most important thing. And as you said, there have been some wonderful celebrities we've worked with. They already have an established base which they advocate to, which is why we worked with them. But as an influencer, I want you not just to influence people, I want you to be, as I said, an advocate for our brand. So that is where my sort of desires lie in working with influencers.
Very well put across. Thank you. Him. A very good evening, Him.
Good evening, sir.
Him, I have seen a lot of influencer once in the morning posting about a property in Indore. रात को उन लोग का दिल्ली का पोस्ट आएगा 3 दिन के बाद दुबई चले जाएंगे दुबई एक वीक उनका पोस्ट चलेगा and you know they would be like you know having a good brokerage work in Mumbai but they are posting across the world. So as a real estate channel partner, as a real estate enthusiast, I would want to ask you, does it make sense being in one particular industry or having presence in multiple markets?
Thank you very much for the question. See, as per me, it is more or less what exactly would you want to believe in? My Insta handle itself says I am South Delhi Farms and Floors to clarify what do I specialize in. It does not mean that I cannot do the rest of the work. It means that I specialize in this. It is very important for you to become a specialist for a locality. Like she mentioned that you need to have your own dedicated family of influenced people so that you can go ahead and pitch it to them that what exactly are you bringing in next and whether is it right for you or whether it is not right for you. So it is very important that when you go all across the world, you should be acknowledged and known locally also. That is where exactly you would get the best benefit from.
Very well put.
So if I would like to add to what Hem just said, you know, just imagine a couple of years back, many real estate developers, you know, expanded themselves outside their comfort zones or their own micro markets. But then slowly and gradually they realized that it is better to come and focus where they're doing business originally. Because, you know, India in itself is a country, but every state is a country in itself when it comes to bylaws as per developers. If developers can realize that, as realtors, as influencers, we should also realize the fact that every 15 to 20 kilometer, the boundary dynamics change. अगर आज मैं दिल्ली के अंदर एक मार्केट को इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहा हूं, तो मैं ऑडियंस से रिलेट कर पा रहा हूं. अब मैं वही ऑडियंस से पंजाब में जाकर रिलेट करूंगा, जब तक मैं उनसे ऐसे बात नहीं करूंगा कि हाँ जी दसिए किवें है प्रॉपर्टी है. They will not be able to understand me. As simple as that. So you need to touch base with what the audience needs.
मैनू पंजाबी आंदी है बहुत मजा आया पंजाबी में सुनने को वेरी वेल सेड both of you. Shalvi, I want to direct one question to you and Ayushi because you know our topic is rebooting the way brands and influencers collaborate edgy and tech toned, like tech based. A lot of my developer friends, when we sit, a lot of marketers बोलते हैं कि यार how do you quantify what you are spending? कोई ऐसा टेक जो savvy यूज कर रहा है या आयुषी आशर ग्रुप यूज कर रहा होगा to quantify what we are actually spending on marketing and how it can actually help each one of us. And हम लोग जब आए यहाँ पे पैनल डिस्कशन के लिए उसके पहले बहुत लोगों ने अपने टेक के बारे में बताया. So people who are sitting here, a very good input that we can get from Shalvi and Ayushi.
Honestly speaking, we don't deploy tech per se. To track the influencer engagement, one of the key metrics that we use is probably seeing the reach, seeing what type of engagement the influencers have gotten, you know, for that respective project or for the brand. One thing that we do slightly differently is probably we go back to our website or Google pages and see what type of impressions it has really created on the brand vis-a-vis just the project, because sometimes yes, the project has a certain reach, but whatever influencer engagement you have done has a ripple effect on the brand, and that's what really stays with the audience. So we go back and we try to track those type of things, but I haven't come across something where, you know, we can really track it to the deepest of its possibilities.
Right. Shalvi.
To echo what Ayushi just said, we've worked with AI for like some of our content, and we all use SEO, which is one of the smallest things you can do in terms of marketing. And we've all used technology to a certain extent. I'm currently exploring AR, VR for one of my projects. And all of these are instrumental in taking the technology forward. However, I have not yet come across technology that combines analytics taken from community-driven messaging on social media and combines it with creative content. So I want technology, and I know I'm asking for the sun and the moon and the stars, but I want technology that combines analytics taken from communities, active communities, targeted communities, and I want to combine it with personalized, customized, creative content given for them. If any one of you is doing one of these things or combining the two or working in this direction, I would love to meet you after the talk. But I think there is still a large gap in how technology will be developed going forward. So yeah, that's all I can say for now. Yeah.
So all the techies in the room, यहाँ पे gap है और अपने को कुछ करना है. Thank you. Again, now the question to all three of you. Any technology thing that you use which makes your work better, your content creation better? कोई particular tool अगर आप use कर रहे हो जिससे आपका काम और थोड़ा better हो सकता है, हेब जी?
See, I guess there's no particular tool, but what I believe is that whenever that you're going for some particular brand or some particular property that you would like to showcase, there is a most important factor behind that is the storytelling part of it. So spend good amount of a time in writing that particular content behind it, carry that value, and then you can very easily depict it when you're shooting the content or when you're explaining that property to somebody. You need to touch the feelings of the person who's seeing that content. It is immaterial if you're showcasing a Taj Mahal, but if there is no feeling around it, there is no point. So technology-wise, yes, whatever the AI tools which are available right now to get those contents, those scripts, and all of those things, that is exactly what I'm using right now.
So as far as technology is concerned, so first of all, I am not doing too much content creation because I work on a relationship basis and mandate basis with one-to-one interaction with my clients. But yes, I have recently started utilizing technology in a couple of projects. जैसे अगर मुझे आज एक पता है developer का project है, they are envisioning a project or they are envisioning a property. But yes, they have not yet come out with what kind of product I can visually see. So I have trained my team now to work on something called MNML.ai, wherein they are able to give prompts so that whatever we are talking about, we can visually showcase that. It should not deviate from the actual product. That is the most important part. But yes, that is a tool that we are utilizing right now. The other part, a lot of times people use ChatGPT or a GPT-4 now. What happens is it's all prompt based. You talk about, you want to create a content, you want to talk about it, but we are missing the gap there. What is ChatGPT? It is a repository. You pick up a model and you have to spend 15, 20 days to train that model. That, hey, listen, you are my employee. You have to talk about this. These are 15 literatures you have to read, analyze, provide analytics, and then you talk to that GPT.
True.
It will start behaving what you need it to behave. Otherwise, what usually 90% of the people would do, they'll just go once, type it, get it back. You need to train that model to start behaving the way you want it to behave.
Super. I'm actually looking forward for your podcast with Ryan. यार you also speak so much. अभी दोनों का कोई जो combination हुआ होगा एकदम तहल का हुआ रहेगा.
So you will be seeing a podcast with me and Ryan Serrant very soon coming out. I think in the next 15 to 20 days.
Superb. And उसका announcement हुआ था ये panel discussion में, so I'm very happy about it.
Done. I'm going to give you that credit for sure.
Superb. Deepti, your input.
Yeah, so when it comes to content creation, I am very conventional and traditional because I feel your content should have the substance. As Haim said, that it is all about creating conversation. It is about storytelling. And it has to come naturally. It has to be yourself, organic, authentic, and no technology can help you in creating such a content, right? And you can use technology to manage clients, to manage relationship, but when it comes to content, I don't think so there's a shortcut to that. Maybe in future, yes, there could be use of immersive technology like AR, VR for hyper-personalization, but as of now, I feel it has to be more authentic and organic. Yeah.
Super. I want to direct a last question to my entire panel. As we know about Beat, how Insomniacs and Realty have come together to have a influencer event today. They're gonna award the best influencer. I want to know, Ayushi, starting from you, what you think is a future trend into marketing and influencer marketing for real estate, and any message to future real estate influencers?
I think it is the impactors that are going to make a difference. It's not so much just about influencing. It is about having very, very authentic content that resonates with the influencer, plus, translates into the brand ethos, and that's what will really make the difference, I think, and break away from the clutter, because your authenticity and originality is the only way to kind of establish yourself in the clutter.
Be authentic, be original. Very well said. Deepti.
So as she rightly mentioned that, yeah, you have to be authentic, and most important is consistency. I feel consistency always wins over intensity. As I keep pushing Ankush also, you have to start, it could be day one or one day for you. So that's the basic goal here. Be original, be authentic, and be consistent. I mean, people lose attention. People will start unfollowing you if you don't be consistent with your content. So that's the main goal here.
Superb. Ankush.
I think looking at so many influencers sitting in this audience and the ones on the panel, future will be more on, hyper-local influencing. The market, if I talk about Chandigarh, it's going to be Zirakpur versus Panchkula. It's not going to be ever Chandigarh versus, Mohali. You need to be hyper-local. You talk about the location, that particular micro-market. Then, you need to actually sit with the developer. And I actually foresee that tomorrow there'll be projects getting launched in collaboration with creators and developers. Because right from the inception of the project, if you take an influencer on board, they'll be able to advocate or translate your vision much more clearly, categorically for the audience that product is made for. So I think I see that as a future trend going forward.
Superb. My future golf partner, Shalvi.
So, in terms of a trend that's going to come up, I'm not sure, I'm not the expert here on influencers. What I would like to see going forward as a developer, and what I would like to see for home buyers going forward or office buyers going forward, is to have a very community and people-oriented content bank. These days, there are developers having amazing out-of-the-box ideas. I know someone who has converted his site office into the best cafe in the city. So that site office is being used now as both a cafe where the community gathers, but also all over the walls are his projects, and there's always 2 or 3 salespeople roaming around there. And that is the kind of community work that I love to see in the industry. I want influencers to portray that if you are going to live in my building, you're living there because of the community, because of the prestige you feel in living in that building, because you care about how your family, will sort of advance with you in life. I want you to take so much pride in my brand that you will go around telling people, this is the future. So these are some desires I have. These are some wishes I have for the influencer community, to work with people and not just technology or all these acronyms we have, which is CPL, CTR, KPI, all of that. But combining both is the way forward for me. And that is actually what people are looking for. They're looking for a sense of connection going forward, not necessarily sticking their faces on a reel and deciding their life. So, yeah.
Perfect. हेम जी, you have a very tricky place, क्योंकि अपने माइंड में जो होता है वहां से जब स्टार्ट होके आता है ना, तो अपने दिमाग में होता है वो सबने बोल दिया रहता है. अभी आपको कुछ नया बोलना है, हेम जी.
See, as per me, content creation में you have to touch the nerve of the gentry that you're catering to. तो एक बहुत फेमस लाइन है कि एक ही कमरे में रहता है इंसान, बाकी मकाम में उसका गुरूर रहता है. So you have to go and touch that gurur part, that this is the kind of the piece of art that you would like to have. This is where you would like to stay. You have to become that kahanikar for him to believe in your thought process. That what exactly I am trying to put it down to you right now is the right thing for you. I think everybody would agree with me on this, that until unless you can put your thoughts very clearly in the manner where he can see how he would feel being into that particular zone, that particular amenity that he would enjoy with his family. That is the most important part of content creation. Put it across in that manner and you would see magic happening.
True. Very, very well said by everyone. Guys, this is my strong panel. Let's give a round of applause to them. Also, I hope we did justice to the panel. And let me also thank Insomniacs and Realty Plus, क्योंकि real estate industry को एक साथ लेके आने के लिए on this stage, and also how to make real estate as an industry more cooler. Let's give a round of applause to Insomniacs, and thank you so much for having us. Thank you.